What's up, guys? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall markets. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total, not to mention 8.1% APY on uninvested cash. The offer ends very soon in just 3 days. Anyways, for Tesla, I just want to mention that our range of the day happened to be between these areas, between our 20 and 50 EMAs. Tesla's trying to hold our 50 EMA, but we got this rejection. So far, we're seeing a bit of a dip. I think a lot of the news from the past was contributing to this, not to mention technicals. And Tesla is looking a little bit, a little bit more bearish right now. So the question is, what's going to happen from this point on? Honestly, guys, when you look at our data, the data wasn't that significant. Everything was very close to expectations. The market was holding up very nicely when the data came out, then started dipping as time went on. This has more to do with algorithms, dark pools, and a bunch of factors like that. Now, as far as Tesla goes, however, I didn't see much news that came out. There was some news about Cathie Wood selling some shares. I did kind of negate some of the claims, however, and kind of prove to you that it's not really that big of a deal as she's still holding the majority of her positions. Besides that, we have the Tesla Cybercab in New York City. We're seeing them in Texas and New York, not only providing us more views of what they're going to be looking like for show, but also Tesla's testing them out in Texas right now. They're testing different capabilities, how it reacts to water, and factors just like that. Anyways, when it comes to the way Tesla's moving, let's now talk about this, at least from a technical basis. We're looking at 330 as our main support. This is our 50 EMAs. Notice we dipped below this only to hold it. So this is the support that we were talking about. I warned everyone if we lost 335 around that area, we're looking for 330 as our targets. We dipped a little bit below this only to get bought back up, and now we're holding 330. If this fails and we end up closing below this and we can't maintain this, there is that risk of us coming down to fill this gap towards 321. We also happen to have this resistance around this 335 area to watch for, not to mention 340.7. But overall, there is weakness in Tesla. And, if you look at this bearish engulfing candle that happened since Monday, we are continuing to downtrend here, and there is that risk of us continuing to fill this gap. So please keep that in mind, as that's going to be a very probable possibility. As far as SPY goes, we pumped up to this 600 area. I said to watch and see if we hold. We were looking quite bullish overall, but then I said to just watch and see if we could hold 600 to remain bullish. If 600 failed us, I was talking about 598 as our target, and that's where we're very close to right now. So watch 598 and 596.61 as the main supports. We have resistance at 600. We'll be watching to see how well this holds in this range. There is a risk of 598 and 596.61. We'll see if we bounce off either one of those levels. I think we could get closer to 598 on SPY before we continue to dip. On ES, we talked about 6,011 as our main supports. And I said, as long as we're above that, we are technically still bullish on ES. But watch to see if we lose 6,011. If we do lose that, we're looking for a dip down to 5980. So keep that level in mind. For Nvidia, we're on a very, very nice downtrend right now. I mentioned to everyone that if 135 failed us, we're looking for essentially 132. That's where we're at right now on Nvidia, getting this rejection. We're at some strong support, so we'll see if we could hold between 130 and 132. So I do expect it to dip a little bit more to 132 flat, if not 130. And we'll see if we bounce off one of those levels. So keep that in mind. For Bitcoin, we were talking about how this is going to be pushing to about 96,000 in my morning video. That's very close to where we are as we're testing previous support becoming resistance. We'll see if we break this. If this breaks, we could get closer to 98,000. If we can't break 96,000, we're looking for a rejection back down to 94,700. So look for a test of 96K, and we'll see how Bitcoin reacts to that. For NQ, we're looking more bearish. We needed to hold 20,800. Otherwise, there is a risk of not only 20,700, but 20,628 is the main support if that fails us. So look for a little bit more downside. We'll see if we get a bounce from there or not. For the QQQ, we're looking for 505 as our resistance, not to mention this main support down here closer to about 502.5, not to mention 500. So I think we could be dipping to 502, and we'll see how it reacts to that. 502.5 is the main support on the QQQ. If we can't hold 502.5, 500 is coming. So we'll see if that holds or not. But I just want to say we are looking a little bit more bearish thanks to Nvidia selling off, not to mention others like Apple. Apple came down. We were talking about 232 as our target. We actually did not reach my target. It's holding above 233 instead. So this is stronger than what I was expecting. So it's just range bound between 235 and 233. Came short of my 232 target, and we're just range bound. So just keep that in mind. For Netflix, we came down a bit. We need to try to get back above 874 to turn back up. Otherwise, we're just range bound between 853 and 874. So I think we're just going to trade sideways in that range for now. MSTR, I'm not too excited about this. We are making lower highs right now. It is possible to retest 399, but we have to break it to turn bullish. Otherwise, the range is 398 to 376. There's not really much going on with it. We could reject though, so just be careful as we're making lower highs. The IWM, I did call out that this is not looking too good. We had a high here, came down, made a lower high. There is a risk of us coming down to 239 and make sure you watch 242's resistance. So it's in that range, but there's that risk of downside. Coin is making lower highs right here. It could be tipping closer to 294 if we don't break past 303. Amazon's also rejecting here. We're looking for 208 as the main level. We did not hold above that. So I said if 208 does not hold, we're looking for 205. That's close to where we are. 205 is our support. If that doesn't hold, we're looking for 203. So keep those levels in mind, 205 and 203. And there is a risk of this dipping a little bit lower. Meta has 566.6 and 564.5 as our two supports. If we lose the 564 area, we're looking for a bigger dump for about 560. If we break past 568, we're looking for a push. This might be dipping closer to about 566, and we'll see how it goes from here. For Microsoft, we're dipping a little bit lower. We're looking for essentially 423 is the main support. If it doesn't hold, that 420 is going to come. So I do think we might be retesting 423, but we'll see if it holds or not. Otherwise, this will dip lower and get closer to about 420. And last but not least, we have Alphabet around 171. We talked about how this is a tough resistance. It's just consolidating up here. If 171 breaks, we're looking for 173. And if it can't break this, we're going back down to 168. Otherwise, those are the levels to watch for. Anyways, thank you all so much for listening. As far as Tesla goes, we're looking bearish overall. We're trying to hold 330 and we'll see how it goes from here. But just know the risk is there as we have that gap to fill. Thank you for listening. Have a great rest of your day, guys. I'm going to be back basically in a couple of hours, hopefully for one more update of the day. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that. But like I said before, the market is just going to be respecting the levels that I called out. So make sure you watch them just to be safe. I could talk about how there might be a dip coming, and the dip could come in 1 hour. And after like 2, 3 hours, the market could bounce again. So sometimes the market doesn't just make one move, there could be many moves that come. That's why don't solely just depend on my own predictions, but also look at my levels. That way, like if we do get the dip, yes, the predictions could come true, but then there could be another move afterwards, and you'll be ready just by looking at the levels. So I hope that's as clear as possible. Watch your levels very closely. Um, I'll try to upload one more video at least before market close. If not, I will be back by after market close, and then I'll try to give you guys at least more insights on how things are looking. Once again, for Tesla, going back to it, it's doing a decent job at trying to hold its 50 EMA, but it is looking weaker now because of this bearish engulfing candle on Monday and the fact that it's starting this downtrend here with this gap to fill. So the odds do favor the risk to the downside, so just keep that in mind. Anyways, have a good rest of your day and peace out.